The U.S. Air Force plans to build the A-10 Super Warthog. The Air Force's A-10 replacement strategy could involve building a new aircraft, customizing existing aircraft, or upgrading the A-10 itself. The A-10 was designed around the General Electric GAU, an 8 Avengers 30mm cannon and 7 barrels, able to deliver devastating punishments to armor. Over the years, the A-10 Warthog has evolved from carrying dumb iron bombs and rockets to the new guided ordnance carrier. The A-10 Warthog ground attack jet is in the process of receiving a new one. The wing is also said to be a series of improvements, including new weapons, cockpit upgrades, and the installation of control helmets. Just 6 years ago, the U.S. Air Force was on the brink of culling its entire fleet of A-10 Thunderbolt IIs, better known as Warthogs, by 2014. Chief of Staff General Mark Welsh II said the Air Force must retire the A-10 completely if it wants to. Big cuts were made to the budget, and that required funds to be freed up and labor to be redistributed. The new Welsh F-35 stand-up unit admitted to giving up close air support. Backers will save $3.7 billion in next year's 5 years of defense program, and another $500 million in avoidance costs for those upgrades that aren't needed. The Air Force started working out how fast it was durable and capable of turning off. An aircraft like the new A-10 will be needed to provide U.S. military forces with effective close air support for decades to come. Senior service officers are now exploring the need for a concept design and evaluating the type of avionics, weapons armor, engineering, and technical redundancy of the aircraft. It will require airborne troop officers notifying scout soldiers that many of the core technical attributes and combat advantages of the A-10 will be maintained and expanded upon by the new effort, officials said. The performance of the A-10 Warthog and the ongoing bombing campaign against ISIS, coupled with the Air Force's subsequent decision to delay the planned retirement of the aircraft, has caused service to begin the new development process over a longer period of time. The term A-10 type platform follows the announcement earlier this year from Pentagon leaders that the A-10 would not begin retirement but would instead serve until at least 2022. Air Force and DoD officials now expect to maintain the close air support aircraft for many years beyond forecasts. Previous time frame. Given the emerging global threat environment, it would make sense that the Air Force would seek to preserve an aircraft like the A-10. Meanwhile, the aircraft has been very successful at striking ISIS targets such as convoy fuel and other assets. The A-10 is also a transportable aircraft type and provides an extensive arsenal of weapons, including larger laser-guided bombs and precision weapons. This kind of firepower, coupled with the cannon's 30mm titanium armor, plates, and built-in redundancy for close air support, makes the A-10 valuable as a platform for the potential for larger-scale mechanical strength in force warfare types. Likewise, the A-10 has a unique and valuable niche in the role to perform in a wide variety of combat scenarios, to engage rebellion support forces on the ground, and to provide firepower protection and infantry support for large-scale wars. Air Force officials have informed soldier scouts that the current approach involves a three-pronged Air Force effect and may consider simply upgrading the existing A-10 fleet substantially as a means of extending its service life by acquiring aircraft already on the market or developing a new near-air platform that supports through development efforts. We're developing a draft of our staffing requirements document around the Air Force now. When it's ready, we'll compare it to what we have available versus keeping the A-10, versus what's needed, replace it with another aircraft, and we'll work through that process. Deputy Lieutenant General James Holmes, Chief of Staff for Strategic Plans and Requirements, told reporters a few months ago. Continuing to describe the service, it broadly explores ways to achieve sustaining air superiority in the long-term potential. The high-end combat engagement adds that considerations of close air support replacement aircraft are thought to predominate in the strategic calculus around these issues. As a result, the Air Force will seek the optimal type of air support platform closure by weighing various considerations, such as what differences there may be between existing aircraft and future development platforms. A-10 replacement explained the question is exactly where is the sweet spot, as we talked about, in between what's available now and what is the optimal CAS replacement. We're working on that continuum to see exactly what the requirements are we can afford and the amount we should be able to do, the mission house added. Several industry platforms such as the TX Raytheon and A-29 Embraer aircraft, the EMB Super Tucano aircraft, are among options seen as potentially configurable for close air support aircraft. Having the necessary funds to support this will be invaluable to Air. The former Air Force Chief of Staff, General Mark Welch, had this to say to lawmakers. Despite previous plans by the service, it did not wish to retire the A-10. The previous plan to retire its fleet of A-10s was a purely budget-driven senior Air Force. Troop leaders have consistently said, "I don't want to retire," says Welch. Congressional Committee in early March. Air Force leaders previously said that the emerging multi-role F-35 would be able to take close air support. Missions with its 25mm gun sensor technology and maneuverability, there is little question about whether the F-35 can succeed with these types of missions. At the same time, there is also a consensus that the A-10 gives the battlefield set very unique attributes that will need to be maintained through the decades.